What is your most embarrassing moment in Ultimate?
Beach Nationals, I dropped the pole, and I'm like, and they scored on us. And then somebody told me, like, okay, you have to catch the next one. You have to get back on the horse. So next one came, and I dropped it. No, I'm just kidding. I caught it, so.
Someone's pulling a disc, and all I did was just run down to the pool, try to get to my person before the pool. Of course, my person was the one catching the pole, so I'm running, and I get real close, and she bobbles the disc. I'm like, sweet! So I keep running to the end zone. 1 minute later, I realized that she bobbled the disc, but she didn't drop the disc, and everyone else is about 50 yards the other way.
People are pretty nice in the sport, and like it's funny how you'll be on the field with somebody and you can joke around with them even though they're on the other team. And then I was telling them about how on Twitter, Johnny Vansville, right after we had played them, played a pro game, the Alley Cats versus Detroit Mechanics, Johnny Vansville put up a tweet and quoted one of his teammates and said, "I hate Travis Carpool because he's so likable." And then just tagged that one guy and didn't put the guy's name. And so I shared it, and I put a picture that conveniently the very next game had been taken by a photographer of me joking around on the field with a Pittsburgh guy while we're waiting for the disc to get tested by the referees.
Here was another really cool thing that happened back then, is because there was nothing established, nothing was organized. So people were figuring out Ultimate as we went. Literally, like, people were getting better at this. I remember going to a tournament one time, and these people were playing, and they're like, oh, they're so good. Do you see what they're doing? It's called breaking the mark. And we were like, whoa, I see it. They're throwing the forehand, they're throwing it over there.
On Magnum, we talked about controllables. And so for us, this is things in the game that we have the power to control. The one obvious one that I like to mention all the time is the score. Everyone's obsessed with the score. What's the score? Who's winning? Who's losing? How many breaks do they have? And I don't think it helps that much, if ever. Usually it's a distraction for people. Something that is a controllable would be like sprinting down on the pole. You can do that every time. You can decide to do that. You can say, I am going to sprint down on the pole and nobody can stop. That's a controllable. Another one would be, if you're focused, catching the disc. Another one would be like cheering from the sideline, or like bringing water to a teammate.
And I heard this thing, did you hear about this pro sport that's coming to Michigan? Pro sport that's coming to Michigan? What is it? Ultimate Frisbee. I'm like, what? Come on. Like, no. I saw this ad, Ultimate Frisbee's coming. And you know what? You're the only person in here who's crazy enough, maybe even stupid enough to try to make this happen. You're on. Let's do this. Picked up the phone, called the commissioner, had an hour conversation, did some due diligence. Within a matter of 6 days, made a decision. We're doing this, and we're in it for 10 years. And we're not just going to go small. We're going to go big. Our first field that we played in was the Pontiac Silverdome. We were the last professional team to play in the Pontiac Silverdome.
So this one's directed to Travis. How do you successfully take away both the deep and the unders?
I don't know if I can actually do that. One way is just by being faster than the other guy. That helps. I think the biggest way is by not committing too hard right off the bat, because there's really not a lot of cutters in the game that are disciplined enough and smart enough to just pick a direction and go for it. A lot of people, they go out there and they do these little dance moves, they chop back and forth, and then they cut. And as long as you don't, go too hard one way or the other, you just kind of sit there and let them do their little dance and then go after them, you can usually shut down whatever they're going for. So I guess just making sure that you're not biting too hard in a small little phase.
The best thing about Ultimate is the people. That's the thing that I always find is the most amazing people that play for lots of reasons. One, I think, is you got to work so hard to run that much, right? A lot of people don't want to go to those ends in that effort because you really got to want it to play, especially if you're going to play competitively. A lot of perseverance. I think you got to be pretty smart to play Ultimate because every day you go out to play, the disc flies differently. Unless you're playing inside, every time there's a different wind, there's a different humidity, all that kind of stuff, and you got to adjust on the fly. And then I think people have a lot of energy to play this game, and they have a lot of fun. You know, that's the thing that I remember the most. I don't remember a whole lot aside from Porta Potty Bender, but I do remember all the fun that we had, you know, especially looking back now. And I'm really excited for you guys starting to play now and all of the stuff that's going to happen to you.
So thanks for watching. You can watch another video on the 3 best days of your summer. You can also check out a video on the Grand Rapids White Lightning, the youth team in Grand Rapids. Also, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and check out our website, zigzagultimate.com.